Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be teaching my lesson on the intro to jazz improvisation. So let's jump right in. To kind of summarize what we're going to be looking at today, first we're going to go ahead and look at an introduction to Miles Davis, one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, a legend. And then we're going to go over what a backing track is. What improvisation is, and we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a literacy strategy called I do, we do, you do, and then you do by yourself by playing an 8-bar solo with a backing track. So let's jump right in here. So Miles Davis, like I said, one of the most famous jazz musicians. He was a trumpeter, but he was one of the most famous jazz musicians of all time. He studied at Juilliard in New York. He was a composer slash songwriter, great improviser, and he really pushed jazz into the 20th century. Really, when people think of the history of jazz, Miles Davis is one of the first people you're going to hear of. He's like one of the big top guys who really pushed jazz into the future and really made the history of jazz. Here I have a recording of Miles Davis improvising himself to show you kind of what you could do someday if you continue on. So yeah, just a quick recording there of Miles Davis himself playing a pretty epic improvised solo. Again, that means he's just playing it on the spot, right? So, what even is jazz improvisation? It is improvising means playing something that you're making up as you go along. You don't have music that you're playing to. You're playing something by making it up as you go along. With improvisation, there's two main aspects you can improvise. One would be the rhythm. You can play the same note over and over again with different rhythms. And the second thing you can do is change the pitch and make up your own melody along with the rhythm. So there's two aspects of improvisation there for you. The next thing that we like to use as musicians is called a backing track. The backing track is really helpful because it's a rhythm section that is pre-recorded that we can play over top of with our solo, so it's super easy to use. Here's a little excerpt of what it would sound like. So for our improvisation today, we're going to be using the major pentatonic scale. The major pentatonic scale is based on a 5-note scale. As you can see, we have C, D, E, G, A, and C again at the top. But the 5 notes are C, D, E, G, and A. That's different than a regular scale here, as you can see right below it, which has 7 notes in it: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Using the 5-note, the pentatonic scale, it just alleviates some of the clashes that can happen with the other 2 notes that are left out, and gives us less notes that we have to choose from to play our solo. I mean, it's easier. Why not? So yeah, like I said, removing the 4th and the 7th makes improvisation easier. All notes sound good now. There are no wrong notes with improvising. It's all up to your interpretation. Play boldly and with passion. Just come up with, choose any of those notes and just play each note confidently. It doesn't matter which note you play it confidently and boldly. It'll sound good. That's why we use the pentatonic scale. And practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. Write down your favorite improvised melodies so you don't forget them. When you're practicing and you have melodies that you like and you've been playing around with, write them down. Write them down on your staff paper, record them on your phone. Just don't forget them. You can use them in the future. You improvise them, you can still play them later. And lastly, don't forget, improvisation is fun. All right, now it's time for us to try this together. So we're just going to improvise one note. We're going to play the same note, improvise just the rhythm. All right? All right, here we go. All right, now it's time for us to go ahead and improvise together. Me, you, all of us together are going to improvise a melody and rhythm. So just play it out. Ready? 1, All right, now it's time for you guys to do this on your own. So, I'm gonna go ahead and play the backing track here, and you guys get to do your own solos one at a time. So, 8 bars each. Here we go. Nice job. Sounds good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there because this is super awkward, just commenting to nobody. So, but yeah. Basically, that's my lesson plan right there. Just teach you guys a little bit about jazz improvisation. Now, if this was in person, I had planned to have these little xylophones that actually, like little kids have them. You hit them with a little hammer, where you can take the actual notes off of it that you don't want, so that you would just have the pentatonic scale left. And then you guys would each get a turn playing on these, they're called Orff instruments, xylophones. But yeah, thanks to COVID, here we are. I'm just doing this whole video thing, and I hope that everyone's doing well. And I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about jazz improvisation.